Welcome to Facebook for the Blind, your look at the downfall of Western civilization through the best memes we can find each week. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to that time of the week we like to celebrate Facebook for the Blind, a show for the visually and Facebook impaired. I'm your humble host, Eric. How are you doing? Good. Let's get to the news. It has been a wild week. As always, in the news, it never stops coming, as they say, but holy cow. This week, major deal. San Jose, California implemented a new ordinance requiring gun owners in the city to have liability insurance and pay a fee, creating legislation more expansive than anything else across the entire country. So that'll be interesting to watch. Meanwhile, across the pond, Boris Johnson having a heck of a time because they have just published an internal inquiry into potential breaches of lockdown regulation by Prime Minister Boris Johnson and his staff. You know, a lot of bring your own alcohol. And like, I thought it was 1 or 2. I read something today. It was like 30. And Bojo's out there. Bojo's out there going, I don't actually know about all that. I'd probably have to talk to my secretary. I believed at the time it was permitted. What a load of crap. So, you know, in Britain, I think they actually make their bad guys step down. So we'll see how that goes. Meanwhile, here in Comeuppance world, we have to report that you remember that Washington trooper who decided to defy the governor's mandate? And remember, he was talking on the radio and he said, "You can kiss my ass" to the governor. And then he did a mic drop, but with little CB obviously dropped right onto his balls. Yeah, he's dead. He died. He died of COVID-19. My friend Ben Schwartz tweeted and Patton Oswald retweeted, "Every season of these guys is a Daffy Duck yelling, 'Duck season!'" Just,
The guy was 51 fucking years old, man. Dude, I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, hey, you know who else is 51 years old? Oh, so moving on.
It's young.
Chairman of the Georgia Republican Party could be facing criminal charges after signing his name to a fake slate of Trump supporters impersonating presidential electors. So that is going on with the January 6th committee. And it actually sounds like, you know, hey, forging documents, officials forging documents might still be a crime that people can get, like, you know, charged with and stuff. So anyway, consequences and justice, maybe just a teaser. I wouldn't bet money on it. Speaking of which, this past weekend, the big story that's been irritating the crap out of many people that I know is that Trump, in a speech in Conroe, Texas, said that he would maybe pardon Capitol rioters, which a Nixon aide, John Dean, says is the stuff of dictators. My favorite comment was from Tom Hartman report, where Tom Hartman said, Trump's confession shows why we must abolish the Electoral College and throw him in jail. I mean, somebody
that's the right take.
Miranda rights, you know, right away. What the heck? Anyway, so closing out, always like to do an animal story, which is cool because it is the Year of the Tiger starting tomorrow. That's right. Over 1 billion people in China and millions around the world celebrate the Lunar New Year. And in 2022, tomorrow, February 1st, we are going to have the Year of the Tiger. Now, a lot of people really just usually drop it right there, or maybe they like post some fun stuff. These are the squiggly lines that are traditionally posted. These are 2 Chinese ideograms, and I believe they basically mean blessing. They both mean blessing, and this just means good luck, you know. And it is associated with the Year of the Tiger and all that. But most people stop with that, you know. It's the Year of the Tiger, it's the Year of the Dog, etc., etc. But in fact, there are actually 5 elementals in the Chinese astrological world that all connect to each other here. They have metal, earth, water, fire, and wood. And every single animal year is also associated with an element. And so you got to think about all these elements. Look at this cool little circle here. We've got wood, which then generates fire, which then generates earth. I can see that. So the fire, so you got ash that generates earth, and then earth generates metal. Okay, sure, metal comes out of the earth, and metal generates water. And then you go, that's right, astrology is hooey. Absolute garbage and hooey. But in actuality, it is the year of the water tiger. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. And I did a little research this week because I was fascinated to learn in my closing animal story, which is relevant to the year of the tiger. I found out that ligers, which are a crossbreed of a lion and a tiger, are fertile. Unlike a mule, which is the offspring, the sterile offspring, which is what I thought they all were, a liger can reproduce. So I thought that was absolutely amazing. And in the process of looking it up and talking to my young daughter about it, I found out that the world's largest cat is Hercules. I mean, this picture here, he is climbing up to a woman at the top of a ladder on a platform easily 8 feet long. Hercules is the world's largest cat. He is a liger. He's named Hercules. He is absolutely ginormous. I will post some pictures to the Facebook for the Blind Facebook group because this is absolutely insane. Guinness Book of World Records here. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't realize this was a video. Oh, well. Well, there you go. Hercules.
Jesus. That thing is a monster.
He's a monster. He's a beast. Yeah, I really should be describing it. Head very much reminding me almost from the side like a cougar, but from the front like a tiger. But this thing is enormous. It's the size
you can't. It's impossible to capture in words how massive this thing is. It seriously looks like something from like one of the anime shows my daughter watches. It does not look real.
It doesn't look real.
It's so much bigger than a grown man. It's
so if you
wild.
would like to go and apparently like this hippie in his leopard skin shorts is doing, visit Hercules, the world's largest cat at close to 1,000 pounds. He is in the Myrtle Beach Safari Preserve in South Carolina. So there
Kenneth says he wants to ride him into battle. Like, yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like you could. And it looks
I have a picture of that.
Cat the size of a bear.
I had a picture and apparently I misplaced it because I do have a picture of someone riding him like a horse. So anyway, so yeah,
wild.
A liger. Had you two ever heard of a liger before? Have you ever know about him? Okay, I see. So
yeah,
anyway.
Because I watched Napoleon Dynamite and then I Googled it.
Yep.
Oh, nice. Perfect. Well, that is all the news and information worth knowing from the world of Facebook for the Blind for Monday, January 31st. Handing it off to my good buddy Michael, who's got funny memes.
Woo. Right. Started off is Emily at EMMIXX Rose, who says, nice argument. Unfortunately, yo mama. So, unfortunately.
So much Facebook.
Connor Wood.
Exactly
right. Connor Wood at Fibula says, sorry I missed your call. I was waiting for my phone to stop ringing. Eric, let Beverly in.
I did.
Okay, good. At Jabuki says, me to my anxiety. People are focused on themselves. They are not thinking about you. Depression, ever. Me. No, that's not what I meant. There's a lot of mental health shit in here. It's been a week. Maggie Smith at Maggie Smith Poet says, warrior in the streets, insomniac in the sheets.
Nice.
I love it. Miss Leah at Leah's Lounge says, Dolly Parton wrote I Will Always Love You and Jolene on the same day. And nice. I've been, quote, preparing to vacuum, end quote, for 2 weeks.
Nice.
Depressive _ realism says them. You still want to stay home after all this time social distancing? Me. And there's a picture of Professor Snape who just looks hopeful, and it says, always. I always want to stay home after all this time social distancing. This is me as fuck. Kill at Ethniogamy says, we was not supposed to know this many people existed, let alone they thought. Listen, I feel this deeply, and evidently so do 133,000 other people.
Dude, absolutely. I agree. I've been thinking about that a lot lately.
Yeah, we shouldn't know. I shouldn't know there's like 7.4 billion people on the planet. I shouldn't know that. I shouldn't have to wrap my head around that. I should just know the same like 200 people that I interact with. That should be it.
I just kept thinking, though, if you think about evolution and where we came from, or if you believe in the Bible, look at the size of the tribes in there. You really didn't have to interact with this many people. I can argue I can argue with like 6 non-friends in a day, plus all my real people that I love.
I once hated someone on a forum so much, and the only thing I knew them as was the name Oracle, and they didn't even have an avatar. It was just an avatarless person named Oracle who I hated with my whole heart. I don't even know where they live. I don't know anything about them. You know what I mean? Like I just shouldn't have. I shouldn't have faceless, nameless enemies like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think this was the joke of the week, dude. This was Micah Fox at Micah Fox, who says, and first of all, this is subtweeted by Patton Oswalt, friend of the show. Thanks for listening, Patton. It says, Twitter is where I go to see comedians who are more successful than me make jokes everyone else made 5 years ago. And Patton subtweets that with, that's what she said. It's just so hacky, so fucking perfect. I love how he doesn't take himself too seriously, man. He's great. Oh, this is great. This is from Andy Marlett, who, so one thing we didn't cover in the news is that this week,
I got a whole act about it.
Good. A county in Tennessee banned the graphic novel Mouse, M-A-U-S, which is a really, really important graphic novel. It is a retelling of the Holocaust, and the symbol on the cover is a cat head in the middle of a swastika, and a mouse family who resemble like the victims of the Holocaust, Jewish people. So like huddling together and looking scared. And this says, all those in favor of banning this book say meow. And you see it's 4 cats all hiling like the Nazi salute with the American flags behind them. And they're holding Art Spiegelman's mouse. And then you see the sign says All American School Board. And who they're doing this in front of is a student who is one little mouse with a backpack. And it just perfectly captures the way that this all has been this week, is like real life fucking villains. They are actually acting like the bad guys in the book they're banning.
Yeah. Yes.
And this is my last one for this round. This is from at Monado Boy, who has posted 2 alerts that they got simultaneously, both at 8:11 in the morning. Duolingo says, looks like you forgot your Spanish lesson again. You know what happens now. And then the next alert is from ADT, the alarm system, that says, intruder alert, back door, proceed with caution. And Mona Du Bois says, oh God, oh fuck. Duolingo fucking had enough.
Nice. Okay. All right, handing it off to me. Let's see. Oh man, I feel out of practice. Of course, now we are headed into Act 1, which we affectionately brand named the Wholesome Round, although that is just branding. Friend of the show, Chelsea Reddard. If you're not following Chelsea, you're missing out. Reposts from punks arguing over nothing. Punk is a lie created by Big Punk to sell more punk. It feels right. It's that time of the year, of course, to pay attention to this one from Memes That Can Save the World. Lee, Steel Toes and Sweat says the IRS's model of we know what you owe, but you have to figure it out. And if you get it wrong, we'll reject a return because, again, we know the right answer is absolutely batshit.
Yes.
Well, good friend Chuck, if you're not following my friend Chuck, you are just not getting it. Reposts from the National Strategic Stockpile of Memes and Satire. I'm going to start screaming Oedipus instead of motherfucker just to see who catches on.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
This one got quite a bit of traction on my page today. Jackie Cation.
Hey, can you go back? Hold on.
Oh, yeah, sure,
Hold
sure.
on. You got to go back. You
Yeah.
missed a part. Underneath that, it says hashtag, I've had it with these edifice snakes on this edifice plane. We need a good Samuel L. Jackson to read it.
Perfect.
That's great, man.
Friend of the show, Jackie Cation, and thanks for listening, Jackie. Jackie Cation, if you're not following Jackie Cation, you're missing out. Posts this one who says, wow, boom. From the Trashies UK, what's something that feels British but isn't? And Pariah Carey responds, the contents of the British Museum.
Oh.
That's good.
I know.
Good old colonialism joke there.
Oh my God, to all my fellow Anglo-Americans out there, that one's funny. Okay, this one from a friend of the show, Eric Alper. He posts a quote from Pink Floyd's Nick Mason. We have a picture of a man drumming here with, I think, George's mustache and sunglasses and hair. It's George, basically, behind the drums, saying, first rule of drumming is that if you make a mistake, turn and look angrily at the bass player.
Yeah.
And myself and 10,000 others like that quite a bit. This one just for the headline. Michael Harriet at Michael Harriet reposts chef's kiss for this headline. We have a picture of the man invading the Capitol who was carrying a Confederate flag. And it says the guy who flew a Confederate flag in the Capitol has predictably surrendered. In Vice. Last year. January 15th.
That's great.
Still funny. Still funny. Year and 2 weeks later. Still hilarious. Speaking
They're
of,
still hunting those bitches down.
I know. Hey, by the way, I checked in and the number is at 750 some arrests. And I had a convictions number. I was running all the numbers. Maybe next week we'll do that. We'll add that to the news. Today,
I want to know who took a shit in the rotunda. That's all I want to know.
Right.
Which one of you motherfuckers took a shit in the rotunda? All right, sorry, I'll quit stepping on your show.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. In a very big theme of the show last week, and we created an entire album on the Facebook for the Blind Facebook page, was Tucker Carlson's sexual obsession with candy, which continued. And a friend of the show, Chuck, posts concerned citizen who says, in case one missed it, the hard-hitting culture war battle Carlson is fighting is with M&Ms. It says Tucker is really upset about less sexy M&Ms, and there's a picture of Tucker making that face that he makes, like he's really concerned with the state of the clam chowder and might want to talk to the chef or the manager. That's the face he always makes. Says M&Ms will not be satisfied until every last cartoon character is deeply unappealing and totally androgynous. Until the moment you wouldn't want to have a drink with any of them. That's the goal. When you're totally turned off, we have achieved equity.
Oh.
I know.
Let me go on the record
Oh.
as saying conflating unappealing with androgynous is a big mistake. Like, there are some very, very incredibly, breathtakingly stunning, sexy, androgynous people. Holy fuck. Tucker Carlson is missing out.
Here's my thing. I just can't let go of this because there are so many things that need talking about and so many that there's anyway. So moving on. I just want to say I find the androgynous M&M very appealing. So there. It's
Tucker
chocolate.
Carlson.
It's chocolate. It didn't even need to be a character, let alone screw it.
You think I'm taking the liberal position here? Like half of billionaires should be women.
Nice. We had an overflow. I mean, it just kept going. I thought we nailed all the green M&M stuff last week. No, here's a picture of Tucker Carlson and the scroll at the bottom. The Chiron says, woke mob removes Snickers dick vein. And Tucker's making the face. Friend of the show, Ricky Baldwin. If you're not following my friend Ricky, what are you doing on the internet? Posts, my neighbor just banged on the wall at 4:20 a.m. Can you believe that? Luckily, I was still up playing music. He banged and shouted, "Can we have a little respect, please?" So I shouted back, "I'm not a big Aretha Franklin fan, but okay, this one's for you." All right. This is from Aaron Parnas at Aaron Parnas. So either Donald Trump wants to pardon Antifa members, or he is admitting that his supporters stormed the Capitol building on January 6th. Which
that's fucking good.
Yeah, it's like, anyway. And if you go to our Facebook for the Blind page, and you're not following Facebook for the Blind on Facebook, dude, what do you even have a computer for? This is Meg's friend of the show. Friend of the show, Meg Slay. And Meg's, if you're not following Meg Slay, you're missing out. It says, if this isn't a contender for Time's best photo of the year, it's a repost of @BrickSuit saying, pro tip, don't wear a hoodie over your Canada First hat. Because if you did, it might block out the sea. It might look a lot like Anal First. Looks a lot like a hat that says Anal First. Yes. This is from one of the Canadian protests that was overplayed in the media this week. And with that, I believe that is my final. And I'm going to let go of Act 1. Back to you, Michael.
I hate to be a contrarian here, but I think by putting a hoodie on, he made a shitty fucking fascist hat into a pretty sex positive great hat. That's just how I feel about it.
Duly noted.
This is Jesus_memes for liberation, friend of the show, great fucking page. Love it. If you're not following Jesus memes for liberation, then seriously, fuck off. It says capitalist. There's a worker shortage. Workers. Scarcity increases value. Capitalist. Wait, what? There's a picture of a really upset looking businessman. Yeah. That's the thing I don't understand. Every time somebody's like, oh, we can't open because we can't keep workers, fucking pay them more. If you were paying them $100,000 each to make hamburgers, you'd have a line out the door of people who wanted to work here. Jesus memes for liberation. We got to talk about this. Russia has been flexing its muscles and peering menacingly at Ukraine all week. And most Americans don't give a fuck. It didn't even make it into our news today. Just being honest about it. But as you're about to see, there are a lot of people really trying to push America toward war right now. And this is a picture of a group of kids sitting around screaming at two lobsters that are fighting, and they've thrown down bets about which lobster is going to fight. And the kids screaming, one is labeled Northrop Grumman, one is labeled Raytheon, another is labeled Lockheed Martin, and one lobster is labeled American teenagers. The other lobster is labeled Russian teenagers, and the kids are screaming and egging these two on. That's what war is. War means we send our teenagers and young adults over to try to kill their teenagers and young adults who are trying to kill our teenagers and young adults, none of which have a problem with one another, right? The problem is created by these kinds of warmongering fucking assholes. It's just a great depiction of how
you left
we
out
walk
the
into
profit
war.
part.
Oh, where's the profit? Was the profit the money? Yeah,
no,
the profit.
Yeah.
It's not labeled there, but that is why. Yes. So another one. This has it's a meme of like a really crudely drawn guy poking something with a stick, right? It's a pretty normal format. In this case, what he's poking is the American flag. The man is labeled Rayon Technologies, Boston Dynamics, Boeing, Berkshire Hathaway, and about 12 other contractors for the Department of Defense. And he's poking the American flag and he's saying, come on, do a war. Jesus memes for liberation has a man trying to start a lawnmower. The man is labeled America. The grass is labeled failing economy. The lawnmower is labeled the war machine.
Oh man.
I'm not done. I am a, for those of you listening who don't know this already, I am a veteran, disabled veteran with a Purple Heart who fucking hates war with everything in my soul. So even the mere mention of it, you're going to get a whole bunch of this bullshit from me. At Jas with Smoke, friend of the show. If you're not following Jas with Smoke, start following them now. Says, people means the military industrial complex. The media is inventing reality again. And here they have two newspapers, and they read the captions here that is, quote, people are ready to tear the Russians apart with their bare hands. This is today a full spread in the Times, another military reference from Russian-Ukrainian front. So people means the military industrial complex is ready to tear the Russians apart with their bare hands.
Yeah.
Sees the memes. Yep, the banks. Says, has a picture of this kid, and like it's 4 panels. The first panel he's just talking, it says, guy calls me a dirty socialist dirty socialist commie. The next one, he's like shrugging. It says, I don't care. And then again, it says, guy calls me a liberal. And this time he has his fist up and it says, it's beatdown time. I do not understand this. This is a picture of somebody holding up a poster, and the poster is Albert Einstein holding 2 pistols in the air like Scarface. And it says, I'm going to start killing women, Albert Einstein.
Wow. That's disturbing.
I know. I don't know what's wrong with my internet. Asian.blanks has a picture of a dog who they've put 4 boxing gloves, like one on each paw of this dog. So the dog is standing on 4 boxing gloves, and it just says, do you want to fucking go? 2 more memes. Glow fuck yourself, Country Kitchen, friend of the show. Subtweets AJ Marquin, who says, parents at a restaurant. Our son's 7th birthday is today. And then it says, a group of 6 Adderall addicted chain smokers who all have sex with each other and haven't slept in 24 hours stop rolling silverware and start clapping. This person has worked in a restaurant. This is going to be difficult to describe. I almost didn't put it on the show because of it, but I really need to talk about it. Glow fuck yourself. They locate themselves at the Batcave, Gotham City, and they have this picture. It's fan art. And at first glance, it looks like Batman is carrying Superman like a bride. But when you look a little more carefully, you see that because Batman's one hand is under Superman's knee, and then the other hand is around his shoulders. But then you see that Batman's legs are draped over Superman's torso because Superman can fly. And then as you look more closely, you see that Superman has like one leg down and one leg up, and it is really difficult to wrap your head around. It looks like Batman is holding Superman, who then made them both fly, I think is what's happening here. And I'm going to stop there.
I'm confused.
Hey, that's actually exactly what the heading said. Glow fuck yourself just said, I'm really, really confused. Kenneth points out that Superman had a jazz leg.
Nice. Oh, God.
Also, Kenneth, thank you. Kenneth says, I took a hit for the team and looked it up. Yes, there is Eminem's porn.
Oh.
Thank you, Kenneth, for your service to this country and this show.
How long have you been on the internet that you questioned if there was porn about something? Oh my God. You know, the last time I did that was the late 90s. This guy said redheaded midget. I typed in redheaded midget and I was like, I don't need to type .com, Bob. I already know, but I did it anyway, just to confirm it. I just wanted to pass along this just from today. Where is it? Here we go. Friend of the show, Jake Flores posted. Shrink. Go back down. Friend of the show, Jake Flores posted in all caps, I don't care what you think about Joe Rogan, but I'm glad you are upset.
That's awesome.
I know. I was loving it because, people are going to start talking about that nonsense now. Friend of the show, Andrew Teedy. Nope, not Andrew Teedy. This is RN for pushing left at progressive_RN. Says, going to start a company where people pay me $400 a month for access to pizza. And when they want pizza, they can call me for pre-authorization. And then I'll tell them where they can go. and how much they can buy and what kind they can get. My company will pay for 50% after the first $250 spent. And
yes,
I posted it with the caption, it would have every bit as much value as my health insurance. And I got to tell you, a ton of people commented on it too. But the weird part is that all of a sudden people started getting into different kinds of shitty pizza. Like they were like, ooh, do I get Little Caesars? So that called for reposting Little Caesars. It's hot and it's ready. Me, is it good? Little Caesars, it's hot and it's ready. Classic. This next one started quite a bit. It was posted in Refresh Restyle, posted in Middle-Aged Humor. They reposted. Says, you can tell a guy exactly where to go in your purse and he'll bring back the entire purse. Which started a huge conversation with hundreds of thousands of women. We got 10,000 people like this, 17,000 people liked it, 10,000 comments. Most of what I saw were women agreeing that their husbands cannot go into a purse and find anything. And my comment was, being told to invade a woman's personal purse, that feels like a trap. Nah, I'm gonna bring you back the whole purse. Yeah, and like seriously, and like the men are just like, yeah, every time I'm gonna bring you back. So, yeah, so true, absolutely, yeah, definitely, no, not touching it. Friend of the show, Daniel Muggleton. If you're not following Daniel Muggleton, you should. Really considered not posting this, but realized that jokes begin at conception, and I can always put it up for adoption later. At Dan Muggleton says, a mate of mine just broke up with a girl because she liked Starburst too much. Personally, I support a woman's right to choose. Oh. Friend of the show, Steve Hofstetter. Thanks for listening, Steve. This is the dumbest joke, and I love it so much. Thank you for groaning at that. God, that feels like doing a real live comedy show. This next one is posted from Atrophy Wife, but a Trophy Wife. Hey, Margaret, can I ask where you found these screenshots? Margaret Elizabeth has posted, this is what hashtag Spotify chose over hashtag Neil Young. And we have a 4-panel here with 3 panels of Jordan Peterson, now wearing some kind of black tuxedo jacket and black bow tie, like he thinks he's a young Tucker Carlson, on Joe Rogan in the last panel. And just a close up here, just so we can really see what these guys are all about, the intellectual right over here. Jordan Peter saying, when I was a child, cartoons used to be much better. A character would look at a beautiful woman and see like a steak wearing high heels. They never do that. They never do that anymore. They never let you imagine Elsa from Frozen as a steak. The 4th panel is Joe Rogan going, like a frozen steak? Right, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Because if you haven't been following, the whole Spotify thing is just hilarious. Friend of the show, Bat Natan, at the Ben Natan, says, my dad is going to be furious. He's a lifelong Spotify user that specifically loves Joni Mitchell and Neil Young. This is not a joke. He posted this at 9:45 a.m. And then he posts right on time at 9:49. His dad texts him, who the fuck is Joe Rogan?
Who the fuck is Joe Rogan? That's great.
God. Friend of the show, David Sirota. If you're not following David Sirota, do. Interesting take from the Comet Street Journal. He's posting from the Wall Street Journal. Says, don't listen to Don't Look Up. Interesting take from the Comet Street Journal. Wall Street Journal posts, don't listen to Don't Look Up. God, that's genius. David Sirota is a funny guy. All right, and closing it out with my final for Act 2. Friend of the show. Oh no, I've got the wrong one. That's more pizza stuff. That is not what I wanted. Get out of my chat. You're in my way. Here we go. Friend of the show, Andrew Teedy. If you're not following Andrew Teedy, why not? Says, and this is your Saturday night public service announcement. Everett Byram posts snack fact number 906. Eating pizza rolls is just microdosing calzones.
That's awesome.
Back to you, Michael.
All right, round 3, kicking off round 3, our third and penultimate round.
That's right.
Of course, we
then
have our
follow
post
with
with
our
the
post with the most.
At Spencer Althouse, friend of the show, tweets, quote, no worries either way, end quote, me worrying both ways. Go fuck yourself one more time. Has a picture of this man has to be British. He just has like a 1970s, like very British kind of shaggy haircut. And he looks like he's just eaten something sour or disgusting. And it says, rumor, pineapple makes your cum taste better. Me after adding pineapple juice to my cum. Not how that works. All right. Oh, friend of the show, Mac Ruby. You're not following Mac Ruby, you ought to be. Subtweets at Kim Quinlan. I'm sorry, retweets. Kim Quinlan, who says, today my doctor said, quote, you look extra pale. Have you been feeling okay? End quote. And I responded, this is just how I look in January. And she wrote that down. A couple of Wordle memes here. This is a picture of a roller coaster, and there's 2 like groups of cars going by, and one is all people who are screaming and terrified of the other group, because the other group who's crossing going the other direction are all zombies. And it kind of implies that you're going into where they came from, and now they're zombies and you're going to be a zombie too. And it's the people who are afraid are labeled people who do the Wordle before work, and the zombies who are reaching for them, threatening them, is the people who do the Wordle at midnight. And there are 2 very, very distinct groups of Wordle players. I must admit, I am one of the people who do the Wordle at midnight. I seriously wait, and as soon as midnight hits, I start doing the Wordle. Jesse Canizaro says, has anyone tried putting all the Wordle answers together to see if they spell out a warning? I just like this idea. For those of you who don't know, Wordle is a really fun game. You play it online. It's not an app. You can only play it once a day, and everyone who plays is trying to figure out the same 5-letter word. So I like it because you can't like get addicted to it to where you're playing it for hours a day. You just play it once a day. That's it. Go fuck yourself. Once again, has Jeff Bezos, who says, I don't like it when people say I look like an alien. Therapist. Well, did you exploit the Earth's resources? Bezos. So that I could build my spaceship. Therapist doesn't say anything, and then Bezos licks eyeball. Introvert says, me checking outside to make sure I still hate the general public. And there's just a picture of a very grumpy looking English bulldog who's just putting his face through a doggy door. But what's funny about it is the doggy door is clearly designed for like a much, much smaller dog. So only his head will fit out the door, and the lid makes him look like he's gonna, like, I don't know, deal you a hand of poker or something. Looks like a weird hat.
That's so weird. Yeah.
Jokesar, who I can't believe is not showing up until this late in the show. Friend of the show, great meme page. If you're not following Jokesar, you gotta follow him. And this is a pretty standard meme format of a girl texting a boy, and the girl says, "Are you sure you like me?" And the boy texts back, "I'm literally obsessed with you." And then the third one, she's bawling, and it says, "He hates me." Jokes are again. Has this picture? I think this is from. Help me out here. Is this from Psycho or American Psycho?
I think so.
This is from American Psycho.
It could be, yeah.
What's his actor's name?
Christian
He's
Bale.
Batman. Christian Bale. Yeah, it's Christian Bale from American Psycho, and he's got his fist up to his mouth, and he's really, really, really doing his best to use all his willpower. And it says, "Me holding the urge to say your mom in a job interview after they ask what I see myself doing in 10 years." want to have a job interview for a job I don't want, just so I can fucking do it. What do you see yourself doing in 10 years? Your mom. Last one for me for this round is my dear friend Heather, friend of the show, Heather Wetha, who posted this conversation. I think this is from Reddit. And Ophonic says, props to STEM people. What the fuck? I can bullshit my way through an English essay because literally you just have to say stuff. But for STEM paper, you have to say stuff and it has to be true. Whack. But the next comment is, props to Humes, like humanities people. What the fuck? I can bullshit my way through any STEM essay because you literally just have to repeat stuff. But for the humanities paper, you have to say stuff and it has to be new stuff from your brain. Whack. And Jenny Franklin puts hashtag finally the solidarity we need to defeat the business majors. I like it. Us STEM people and humanities people, we have to come together and beat the business people. We have to.
Indeed.
All right, back to you, Eric, for round 3, and then post with the most.
Indeed. Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. This is taking me longer than I thought because I just had so much stuff. All right. So round 3. First off, this is my favorite shot from Chicago this week. Guy took a bunch of water balloons, filled them with colored water, let them freeze, and then built an igloo out of it. It looks like a kid-sized igloo made out of like massive marbles. And I just
Wow.
I know. I was like, I want to do that. I want to try that. All right, Wholesome Round. I'm going to rapidly go through here. This is a picture. We can see Giuliani doing that face that he makes, like when he sits on his balls, like his eyebrows are up real big and his mouth is open and stuff. He's like,
what?
Except that this one is captioned, eats 400 kernels of unpopped popcorn before I die. Then the guy when he cremates me. We're thinking about it. Also for the Wholesome Round, this is a New Yorker cartoon, kind of like 2 trees standing there. And there's a stump in between the 2 trees. And one of the trees has got little arms and he's reading a book. And it says, pains me to say it, but Greg is much more interesting as a book.
Oh.
That's rough.
Dunkin' Donuts Abdullah tweets, anyone who publishes an endemic COVID op-ed and says we will have to live with it also has to write out a paragraph about how hospitals are going to deal with this going forward. No more vibes. Where your plans at, buddy? Yeah, so definitely agree with that. My friend Jeremy, if you're not following my friend Jeremy, why not? Reposts Neil deGrasse Tyson saying the leap day is misnamed. We're not leaping anywhere. The calendar is simply an abrupt catching up with the Earth's orbit. To which Matt Brunig replies, if only there was a name for a sudden and abrupt lurch forward.
That's awesome.
As you know, on Facebook for the Blind, we really love a good trolley problem, and it's interesting when we find new ones. This one is the trolley with a shopping cart on it. It says, there is no dire emergency. Do you accept your duty to return the cart even though you gain nothing?
Yeah, I've actually heard this presented as like a really, really good question of ethics. Like if you return the cart, because there's no reward and there's no punishment. There's literally, it really is a good measure of how you feel about like, just doing the right thing just because.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this one was posted that has just a single line with the trolley, and there's a bunch of bodies on the road, and it says, you can stop the trolley at any time, but doing so would lead to some form of event where these people would thank you, and you have to shake hands and make small talk with them.
Let them die.
I can't remember the one about this guy's like, welcome to hell. And the guy's like, oh, this doesn't seem so bad. Now, tell everyone in the group something about yourself. You guys know I love a good headline, and this one provoked my thinking. I'm not sure what to say here. Space.com brings up that the first Vulcan Centaur rocket launch is going to take ashes and DNA of Star Trek fans and actors in 2022. And I just want us all to think about just for a second, okay? We find an alien spacecraft, and on board are like the burned up ashes of one of their dudes. Like, what message is that? Like, they're primitive weirdo. Like, what? Ah. Anyway, these things drive me crazy. Hopefully not you. One of my favorite things about Facebook is it brings up memories from a year ago. I love the memories. I really do. It's incredible. Here's one from a year ago. Unite in Justice for the Poor, who posts, sorry we tried to assassinate you and overthrow the election. We didn't expect it to fail and create this awkwardness between us. Let's move forward and get back to normal with blocking any legislation that you introduce while we continue to feed a racist terrorist movement. Love, little heart symbol, the GOP. Wow. Remember January 29th?
Took a shit in the rotunda. That's all. That's what I. Until they answer that question, I think they should Benghazi this shit. Just keep asking until we know who took a shit in the rotunda.
You know, and that kind of brings me to one. And I don't see it here, but gosh darn it! You know what I discovered this week? After 9/11, they reinforced all the windows on the Capitol except 8. Guess which ones got broken? Guess. And if you watch on the video, guess they make a beeline right past 285 other reinforced windows to go directly to a window. So my thing is, who told them that? I want them.
I'd say more than likely it was quote unquote law enforcement who were on both sides of that fight. Like, let's not fucking pretend that it wasn't cop on cop violence. How come nobody's talking about the cop on cop violence?
I'm just going to jump back and just go, whoever showed them those windows, I want them in jail. I mean, actually, I want them in the stocks on the square so I can go to DC and spit on them. But I'll settle for in jail. All right, getting back to it. Also a year ago, and it comes across more authoritative in meme form than when I say it, but here goes anyway. Andrew Junker at Stand Junker says, I need someone to explain to me why Al Franken had to resign for a joke photo he took years before he was a senator, but the elected officials who participated in or encouraged the Capitol riots are allowed to stay in government. Explain it to me like I'm in kindergarten. Thank you, Andrew Junker. Oh, no, that's something else there. Yeah, a lot of stuff about book bans. A lot of it related to, Mouse, the whole Mouse thing. McMinn County, tried to ban Mouse in their county from the school libraries. And immediately academics have responded with free copies of Mouse. Amazon went to #1, top of the sales. So every time they try to fight anything, it doesn't happen. But people made courses that were based on Mouse available online. And I love this little post from Joey Piazza at Joey Piazza. Oh, wait, Joey Pizza. I'm dumb. At Joey Pizza, who says, again.
No, it's Piazza.
Is it Piazza?
Yeah.
Okay.
You had it right the first time.
Okay. Again, and I cannot stress this enough, your kids have access to the full internet and TikTok. Books are not your problem.
Right.
Mhm.
I want to go if you can go back. That
Yeah, sure.
Joey Piazza there is being that's being shared. No, go one. Yeah, there you go. That's being shared by the Tennessee Holler.
Yeah.
These are friends of the show. Really, really good people. Justin Canoe ran for Congress. Canoe for Congress. Huge fans of our show. We're huge fans of their work. Keep it up, Tennessee Holler. Always yell the truth is their tagline.
Wow.
We love them over at the Tennessee Holler.
So good. Thanks for
That was
listening,
awesome.
Tennessee Holler.
Love you,
This
Justin.
one was an interesting take, I thought. Now, this is in my last 4 here. Hollywood Reporter posted Fight Club author Chuck Palahniuk, and I really should have looked up how to pronounce that, but the guy who wrote Fight Club, saying that China has censored his ending is actually truer to his vision of the movie because China censored the movie. But he comments, what I find really interesting is that my books are heavily banned throughout the United States, he said. The Texas prison system refuses to carry my books in their libraries. A lot of the public schools and most private schools refuse to carry my books, but it's only an issue once China changes the end of a movie. I've been putting up with book bans for a long time. Thank you, Chuck. Making it right. And Sarah Lazarus posts this, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Oh no, you say your child read a book with the word damn in it during the break between active shooter drills? Is he okay? We posted in
That's heartbreaking.
Millennials for Guillotines, but I know, and I it should be funnier than it is, but I don't have an obvious solution at the moment. At last two, getting down to it here. Oh, we already did that one. So Joey Piazza is there. Fun fact: kids who this is shared by Lawson Clark at Male Copywriter, who says, "Fun fact: kids who read Mouse don't grow into adults who constantly compare minor inconveniences to the Holocaust." So
Yes,
it's true.
that's the right take.
It's absolutely true. Absolutely true. Closing it out until our post with the most. Back to you, Michael.
Post. All right, kicking it off with the post with the most. Here we go. This is it. Spoiler. Shameless self-promotion. What?
Whoa.
Quiet Michael at Quiet Michael Labune on Twitter, co-host of the show, says, "Please, will someone tell me how it is more convenient to back into a parking spot than to back out of a parking spot?" Nothing. This is for people who own trucks in my town. It takes you too long to back into your parking spot. Just pull in and back out.
Dude, that's so funny because I am one of those people, and I don't know if you've seen the meme, but it says people who back into parking lots feel superior to people who don't.
Well, I choked here during that.
It's true.
How much I hate it.
Oh, that's fun.
I'll die on this hill, goddammit.
My post with the most while Michael deals with an oat in his throat. Millennials only want one thing, and it's more of these carts at the grocery store, and it's the single carts. This one got over 20 likes, a lot of comments, a lot of engagements. And I think some of my favorite ones, Gen Xers too, Boomers too, everybody was saying it. And Daniel Tice says, "I got about 5 of them that I use in my shop." And I said, "You know, Daniel, I've been thinking about stealing a couple of those myself just for around the house." And that has been Facebook for the Blind for January 31st, 2022.
Love you, George.
Woohoo.
Thanks for listening to an episode of Facebook for the Blind. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.